People are not affecting climate change. You're going to tell me that back in the Ice Age, how much taxes did people pay and how many changes did governments make to melt the ice? The climate is going to continue to change. And there is no reason to just open up our borders and allow everyone in and continue to funnel over $50 billion or however many billions of dollars or trillions of dollars to foreign countries all over the world simply because they don't like the climate change.
I don't know who Marjorie Taylor Greene is working for, but it certainly isn't the American people.
We've already warmed 1 degree Celsius, and do you know what's happened since then? Here, let me tell you. We have had more food grown since then, which feeds people. We are able to, producing fossil fuels keeps people's houses warm in the winter. That saves people's lives. People die in the cold.
Right.
This earth warming and carbon is actually healthy for us. It helps us to feed people. It helps keep people alive. It helps. The earth is more green than it was years and years ago, and that's because of the earth warming. That's because of carbon.
In her latest attempt to appear intelligent or clever, she wants to know who paid the taxes to which government to melt the ice during the Ice Age. So she's arguing the very tired and easily and often disproved point that humans are not the cause of modern day climate change. She's arguing that the climate just changes all the time. It's totally normal. It's a normal phenomenon, and it's been happening since before people and governments and taxes were even a thing. And she's not wrong. No one has ever disputed that point. Change, like death and ironically taxes, is a reliable inevitability in this life. The problem is that she just stops there. It's just a half point, and she knows it. You all know it. I don't need to explain it to any of you watching this because unlike Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't think that my audience is dumb.
Ladies and gentlemen, and we're all here in Georgia. Can we just say thank God for air conditioning? Let's talk about refrigerators. I personally like my refrigerator. I know you all like yours. What about washing machines and dryers? Lord, please God, don't make me scrub clothes in a bucket and have to hang them out on the line when we switch over to wind turbines and solar panels. I'm going to be really pissed off about that. I mean, how absurd is this? I like the lights on. I want to stay up later at night. I don't want to have to go to bed when the sun sets. It's so silly. I mean, all of this is absolutely insane.
But she's not speaking to any of you. She's speaking to her base, the ones who, to this day, are still calling climate change a hoax. They're still falling for half points, and honestly, by now, anyone who still pushes the climate hoax conspiracy theory, whether that's a politician or just a regular old civilian, sounds ridiculous. I'd say that they're almost at flat earther level at this point, and it's incredibly frustrating that the rest of us have to pretend that these conspiracy theories are just valid opposing opinions held by some of our countrymen. They are not opinions. It's fine if you want to ask questions to things you don't understand. It's actually encouraged that you do so. But it's not fine when you deny the answers that are available to you. We know what this is really all about, though. Look, if you don't want to spend money on reversing the effects of man-made climate change, then just say so. If you don't want to be inconvenienced by a transition to a more green economy, then just say so. But denying what is empirically and palpably obvious makes no sense. You're just someone standing outside in the rain pretending that it's not raining. And I don't believe that Marjorie herself actually denies climate change or the impact that man has on this planet. She says a lot of unbelievable things, but she knows what she's doing, and as far as the climate goes, she knows what's happening.
Talk about climate change. This is the 4th largest country in the world. We have an extremely diverse climate. We have a wide range of natural disasters. 97 natural disasters occurred in 2021. I don't think this is very safe for migrants here in America. We had 97. How many are they having in their country? These natural disasters include wildfires, heat waves, droughts, flash floods, winter storms, cold waves, tropical cyclones, and on and on and on. But yet they need to come to our country because of climate change? That doesn't make a lot of sense.
She's from the South, and let me tell you, it is hotter now in the South than it has ever been. I've lived in the South for over 20 years, and I've never experienced temperatures like the ones we're seeing right now. And I know, in the grand scheme of things, 20 years is nothing. It's not a lot of time at all. But these temperatures are historic and unprecedented. My 20 years are anecdotal, but historic data going back millennia isn't. But while Marjorie may not deny climate change or man's influence on it, she knows that her base does. So rather than being a leader and providing her constituents with reliable and accurate information, she chooses to instead pander to their existing beliefs and fears, amplifying those beliefs and fears and galvanizing the people who hold them. Not only that, but she's pandering to the oil and gas corporations, and she's pandering to xenophobes, and she's pandering to literal Russia. So I'll just tell you a quick story about a guy that I met in a bookstore once, and this must have been like 10 years ago or something. I was reading a book that was written by Antonin Scalia, and for those of you who don't know, he was a conservative Supreme Court judge. He was appointed by Reagan, and he served on the court until he died in 2016. So the book I was reading was a book where he was explaining his voting record while serving, explaining how he came to certain decisions, and a lot of those decisions were quite controversial, to put it mildly, so I was interested to see what he had to say. Anyway, an older man saw me reading the book and asked what I thought of it. I told him I didn't agree with Scalia in general, but it seemed that he at least put some thought into his decisions, and he apparently believed in the work he was doing. Now, I was being nice and I was trying to be brief because I really didn't want to get into a whole thing with a stranger, but the older man thought that it was big of me to quote-unquote respect the opinions of a man that I didn't agree with. Now, for the record, I just need you all to know that I never said that I respected Scalia's decisions or opinions. Well, as far as not wanting to get into anything, the guy then started talking about climate change and how it's a hoax, and that more people would get it if they stopped watching the news so much. I swear I just attract these people into my life. He said that if they really knew what was going on like he did, they wouldn't worry about it so much anymore. It's just magnets, he told me. The poles are changing, it's natural, it's normal, it's not a big deal. It was a half-truth, it was a half-point, but it seemed to not only give him some comfort, but it complimented his ego. He knew something the rest of us didn't know because he was smart enough to find an answer that made him feel safe and special, even though the answer was incomplete. Nothing is ever as simple as just magnets. Politicians feel the need to boil things down to pithy sound bites and talking points so that they can be easily repeated over and over again and lodged in people's memories. But there's no real understanding that can come from anything like that. But like I said earlier, I know that you all know that. All right, so that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like and subscribe to the channel, and be sure to follow me on all the socials. Also, check out my new podcast, Modern Context. Episode 2 is out right now. Thank you.